Well, welcome everybody. I am Love Carpenter, a National Executive Director from North Carolina, and I'm super excited to partner with all of these national teams, the Ishii National Team, the McDonald National Team, the Henderson National Team, and the Carpenter National Team. So we've got a powerhouse group on here tonight. So nice to see all of you from all across the nation. So you guys are in for a real treat tonight. Tonight our call is on recruiting, but it's going to cover so much more. You're going to be inspired and motivated and excited to get to work on recruiting in your parties when you leave this call tonight. So we have two of our newest executive directors with us tonight, Sabrina Brandon and Amanda Henderson, both promoted to executive director on July 1st of this year. And you are going to be super stoked to hear what they have to share tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce Sabrina because she is going to be our first speaker. And I see Sabrina on here. And Sabrina, you'll have to unmute when you get ready to talk, but I'm going to introduce you first, and then I'll introduce Amanda after you talk. So let me go ahead and screen share. So, oh, wait, hold on. I got so many things going on my computer. Here we go. All right. So I am super excited to introduce you guys to Sabrina Brandon. She started her Pampered Chef. She lives in North Carolina. She started her Pampered Chef business in April of 2019. She was a fast track director. She earned excellence awards, and not one, not two, but 3 categories her very first year in the business. So she earned excellence awards in sales, recruiting, and developing leaders. Her organization, last year, her organization sold, because last year she wasn't even in for the whole year, her organization sold $137,000 for the year. This year, they've already sold so far year to date over $1 million in organizational sales. Sabrina's only been in Pampered Chef around 15 months. So far this year, well, last year, her team recruited 48 people into Pampered Chef last year. And so far this year, her team has recruited 232 people into Pampered Chef this year, and their team is 253 members strong. There are 14 directors in Sabrina's downline, and Sabrina just promoted to director about a year ago. So that's pretty amazing, all the people that she has brought along the way with her. Last year in 2019, Sabrina personally recruited 20 people. And so far this year, she has personally recruited 15, but together her whole team has recruited 232 people. I am super excited for you to hear Sabrina's story, because although all these numbers are so impressive, and Sabrina is a wonderful woman and such an inspiration to all of her team and all of our team, but you are going to hear that Sabrina did not get off to a rock star start like you might think after seeing all those numbers right there. So Sabrina, will you please share with us how you got started with Pampered Chef?
Okay, hi everybody. I have some notes, so I'll be looking down at them. But I started in April of 2019. But in late 2018, my husband's business partner dealt treacherously with him. And after severing the relationship, it left my family in a really bad financial situation. So by the time March of 2019 came around, it was really looking desperate, and it looked like I was going to have to go back to working full-time outside the home. And my very last job was stressful, and I really didn't like it. And every time I thought about going back to work, the anxiety would just be like a knot in my chest. And I just couldn't even imagine doing it again. And then I started looking around at all the jobs, and everything just seemed like so much drudgery. And I was 52 at the time, and I had done enough drudgery. I just didn't want drudgery anymore. And right around that time, I was invited to a Pampered Chef party, and it was a virtual party. And I'd never been to a virtual party before. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check this out. But I never, even though I joined the party, I never once went into the party group. So every once in a while when I was on Facebook, I'd see this post and it would come in my newsfeed, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to go to that party, because I said I was gonna come, but I didn't. So finally, one day I saw a post that said last day of the party. And I looked at the timestamp and it was Friday, but that date was Saturday. So I had missed the party. And I was like, oh my goodness, let me go in there and see if there's any time left. And the very first post that I saw was about booking a party. And I was like, oh, okay, she could get credit if I book the party. Let me do that. So I typed me in the bottom, you know, like, and I'm waiting and waiting for this consultant to get back to me. And she doesn't get back to me. And I'm like, what? This girl is a slouch. But really, I realized that it's so easy to just miss one comment in the party. So I reached out to her on Messenger and she got back to me. And as soon as she started talking, I could tell that this was a fun job. And that appealed to me right away. I could do something fun. I'm like, can I make some money? And she's like, yes, you can make money. I said, I need to make $3,000 by the 1st of July because we had this big, huge thing that had to be taken care of. And if I could make the $3,000 by the 1st of July, then I might be able to delay going back to a real job for a little while. But I knew that this was only going to be temporary. I'm going to make this $3,000 I need, and I'm out of here. So I got started, and I did not make $3,000 by July 1st. And I really needed to. So there I was on June 30th. And instead of quitting, I decided I'm going to try to fast track to director. So you might wonder what happened that made me decide, even though I didn't make the money that I needed, to go on and try to fast track to director. Well, what really happened is that my recruiter quit the business. She quit after I had been in just a couple of weeks, and I didn't know that I could really go to my upline director. I knew she was there, but I didn't feel comfortable going to her because I felt like she was too busy. She wouldn't have time for me. What made me think that is my past experience. So I didn't mention this before, but I used to do some other direct sales companies. I had done Tupperware. I spent a little time doing Mary Kay, and several years I sold jewelry. So in those companies, what I discovered is that I always felt like success was right there. I just couldn't get it. It was right in front of me. I could see it, but I couldn't get it. And I was so frustrated. I felt like they were keeping secrets and they just weren't teaching me what I needed to know. And it wasn't duplicatable. Even if I recruited people, I couldn't make what I could do happen for them. I couldn't duplicate what was happening for my upline. So because my recruiter quit, I had to go to our weekly meetings to get my answers to the questions that I had. Maybe if she had been there, I would never have gone to the meetings. I don't know. But she wasn't there. So I felt like my only resource was to go to those Monday night calls every week. So that's what I did religiously. I didn't miss a Monday night call unless I was sick. And what I learned on the Monday night calls, I would stay after and I'd ask questions and I'd get my questions answered. And they would tell me something I didn't want to do. And I'd be like, forget this. I'm not doing that thing. I'm going to do this other thing. But fortunately, good sense kicked in and I said, hey, look, these people are making the money. They are doing it. I'm hearing about people making thousands of dollars a month. I can't even get $3,000 in 3 months. I need to listen to what they're doing. So sure enough, I would do the thing they told me to do, and lo and behold, it worked. I couldn't believe it. So the next week, I'd come with my questions, they tell me what to do, and whether I wanted to do it or not, I did it. So by the time June 30th came, and it was time for me to either quit or do something, I knew that this thing could work. Not only could I see that success was there, I felt like I could grab hold of it. It wasn't out of reach. And that's because of the great training and systems that our upline national director has. And I know all the national directors on this team have a similar thing. So that was really, really valuable. So I decided on June 30th that I was going to do whatever it took to become a director by the end of July. My fast track date, I think, was July 7th. So I had till the end of the month. So I booked my calendar stock full, because one of the things that I had learned on the Monday night training call is that if you're in front of enough people that you can talk to, then you can build a team, because some of those people are going to be interested. And I think a big reason that I was able to fast track is that decision to do it. So during those first 3 months in my Pampered Chef business, I learned 3 valuable things. The first thing I learned is you really have to do what the successful people are doing. If you were in another direct sales company and you feel experienced because you've been there, done that, if you didn't get the level of success you wanted, then you cannot think about what you did before. You have to do what the people that are successful now are doing. So I learned that. And I'm so glad that I learned it early and didn't have to waste a lot of time learning that. The other thing I learned is that success is a decision. I'm going to tell you what happened. So June was just like this year, a free-for-all month. And I looked at the beginning of the month. Oh, my internet is unstable, so let me know if something fishy starts happening.
We can hear you.
But I looked at the beginning of the, okay. And give me a buzzer if I'm talking too long. At the beginning of the month, I looked at the fast track rewards, and I really wanted to get level 3, whatever was the value of level 3 that year. I was like, I really want that. But it was $3,000 in sales, and the most I'd ever sold in the past 2 months was like maybe 1,500. And I'm like, there's no way I could double it. There's no way. So I didn't even set it as a goal. I didn't set it as a goal. 2 days before the end of the month, I was only $278 away from that $3,000 it would have taken me to earn level 3, and I missed it. I missed it. And that's when I said, if you had only said in the beginning that you were going to do this, you would have gotten that extra $278. So I learned then not to decide in advance that I can't do it. Success is a decision. If you decide you can do it and you follow through, you can do it. The other thing, I did 2 already, right? So the third thing I learned was that success happens in the time period between when you want to give up and the end of the month, or the deadline for whatever the goal is. So there have been many times since I started Pampered Chef that it just looked hard, and it's like, oh, you're just not going to make it. You just forget it. But then when I took a deep breath and realized, you know what, you're really not a quitter at heart, and just went for it, that's when the amazing things started happening. That's when I did things that were further outside my comfort zone or outside the box. Things I tried one time and never tried again, but something great happened as a result of it. So decide that you are going to do it. Don't give up, and work beyond the day you feel like this is it. Just keep going until the deadline. And then at least if you don't make it, you can't say, I should have, I wish I had. You can say, I did everything I could, and this time it didn't work out, but next time it will. So I think that's all I got.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. So Sabrina told me that when she started, she didn't tell me this in the beginning, she told me this later, but she told me that when she started out saying that she didn't want to recruit and she didn't want anything to do with building a team. So Sabrina, what is the thing that changed your mind from that to deciding that you wanted to fast track, and here you are just a little over a year into the company leading an executive team?
Okay, yes, I did mean to talk about that. What made me decide is that we had all the systems were here. I didn't have to worry if I brought in a new person and I didn't know what to do. It didn't matter if I didn't know what to do, because there was a Monday night calls for them to come to. It didn't matter if I didn't know how to host coach them, because we had the scripts for host coaching. I didn't have to know how to do anything except talk to them, initially. So that's what made me know I could do this. The whole thing was so duplicatable. Just come on to the Monday night calls. And yeah, that's why on June 30th, I knew this was a possibility for me.
Awesome, Sabrina. Thank you so much for sharing from your heart and sharing your amazing story tonight. And you've got to check out the chat because there are some awesome compliments to you in that chat. So you've got to be sure to check that out. And guys, when Sabrina is talking about the Monday night call, you are a part of a powerful national team, and your team might have a Sunday night call or a Tuesday night call on the Ishi team or whatever night your call is. But you guys, we all have those support systems on our teams. And your national leaders, we work very closely together, so you have access to everything that Sabrina's talking about. So thank you so much, Sabrina, for sharing with us tonight. So our next speaker I want to introduce you to is Amanda Henderson. Amanda, can you speak up so you'll come in the top screen? You might have to unmute.
Hey guys.
Okay, there you are. All right, I'm gonna introduce you. I just want to make sure we can get you in here and you are unmuted. All right, so let me screen share, and I want to introduce Amanda to you. And Amanda is also a brand new executive director, yes. And Amanda started her business in January of 2018. She was also a fast track director. Amanda fast tracked in 23 days in the business. And this was before that was kind of a thing, you know, like now people are getting off to a really incredible start. But that was back in January and February of 2018. And I'm telling you, she came into this company and she just hit the ground running and has never looked back. She was also a fast track advanced director, and she earned excellence awards last year in sales. And her team in 2018 sold over $800,000. And so far to date, they've already sold over $1.3 million in this year so far. Amanda, you guys are crushing it. In 2019, her team recruited 208 people. And so far this year, they've already recruited 233 people. And her team is 335 team members strong, 16 directors strong. Now remember, Amanda just joined just about 2.5 years ago. So a team of 16 directors strong. And she personally recruited 28 people in 2019. And so far this year in 2020, she has already personally recruited 24 people. So I'm very excited for you to hear from Amanda tonight. And she is going to kind of walk you through some step-by-steps that she does for recruiting in her parties and kind of how she got off to that great start and what she continues to do today with recruiting. Amanda?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. So yes, recruiting is something that I really take serious, and I'm going to tell you right off the start, recruiting fixes everything. Recruiting fixes your sales, recruiting fixes all the problems you have. So if you're not recruiting, you got to start recruiting. And I'm going to tell you that the number one person that we all need to be focusing on recruiting is our host. We already know that our host likes to party. She likes friends that like to party, and she is going to get it done. So to start it off, you need to be asking your host 5 times throughout the party if you're going to do it, if she wants to be part of the business. Love, can you screen share that picture?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is kind of how what we go by, and I'm going to walk you through it. So before the party starts, I always send a message out, and I tell the host, like in host coaching, that what they can get, benefits of being a host. But then in it, I'm going to say, hey, so-and-so, you know, you can earn commission off of this party before. Plus being the host, you're also going to get the host rewards. How awesome is that? So all you have to do is join. And then I'll say, you know, the kit's $99. You can start your business for $99. Okay. A lot of times I don't get responses right off of that point. So I keep, you know, a lot of times they don't even answer that post. But I've already started, I'm planting that seed, because a lot of times my hosts never, ever tells me they want to join until the very last thing. They kind of ignore me, okay? But I'm still going to ask them. I'm still going to be sending those questions. The next thing I do is I tell the host how awesome they are. Like, your party is doing great. You already have like 50 friends in here. Are you sure you don't want to host? Are you sure you don't want to be a consultant? You know, your party, this is on Sunday. Your party hasn't started. You still can be earning that commission. Then once the party starts, I'm really watching them. If they are totally sending, you know, I'm sending them host coaching information and they're posting it. I'm watching them. A lot of times will start tagging their friends without me telling them. I'm going to send them a message that really talks about it. And I don't send a message, I send a video. And love, can you share that video?
Look at me all prepared.
I know, right?
Hey, good morning, Darla. This is Amanda. So how to come on here and just tell you, I've been watching you in your party and you are amazing. Oh my goodness, you are rocking it. You're rocking it so much that I have to ask, have you really thought about possibly joining the Pamper Chef team? And the reason why I say that is your party is already like at $500, which means you could get a $50 kit credit, which what that does is it takes $50 away from your free product that you can get, and you can get one of the kits for $50 less. So ultimately, you could start for $49. So I want you to think about that. You'll notice in the post that I told you I don't post the post. So you really could do this business while working, and I think you would be amazing at it. So let me know what you think. Have a good day. Hey, good morning, Darla. This is Amanda.
Okay, guys. So the reason why I took it, I used to send that message, my Rockstar host message, type it out. Then I got to thinking, what if I did it by video and I made it personal? Like, I made a connection with her. Like, she sees me, she knows I'm being sincere. I can really, you know, I have had great responses from that, okay? Because they are connecting with me on a personal basis. They're seeing me. We all know that if we can see somebody, we connect with them faster. So I've started sending that. I also, if you don't want to do a video, you're still kind of shy of going live or doing videos, in Facebook, you know, you can do voice clips. So do a voice clip, send it to her, and you're still making that sincere. You're making that connection with them instead of typing out, because we all know we can type out something that's great and make it sound great, but depending on how that person reads it, they might not think that, okay? So if you're doing a video or voice clip, you're connecting with them better, okay? So then we're going along in the party, and it comes down to, we're starting to close the party out, and I'm going to hit it once again. Hey, you know, your party is at $600. You get this $50 kit credit for $49. I'm going to give you the bookings that I've gotten off of your party. I got you those I've already got 3 bookings booked. Those are going to be your parties to start your business with, okay? That's the 4th time. And right before I close the party off, I'm going to send her a text and say, hey, I just want to show you what I made, what you could have made off of your party. And what I do is I take the 20% as a consultant, what's on her party, and show her what she could have made. The reason, guys, you can do this because this is a fact. That's not like, oh, whatever. We know automatically whatever we do, starting off every month, we're going to do 20%. So I don't go up and do, because some of us get the 22%. I don't show them that. I just show them the 20% off of what it would have been if they made the 20%. And if it's a big party, they look at it and be like, you made that much off this party? I'm like, yeah. And you know, it was super easy. I don't post the party in the party. I just jump on when I can. And you can do this working full time, because when I started, I was working full time. A month ago, I was working. So those are 5 things on how to get your host, asking your host. Okay. The next way I recruit is through my guests. I'm constantly watching my parties. Those rock star parties, those people that are commenting on every single post, those ones when you look up, you see, oh, Angelique is in here. She's commented. Angelique's commented. You pull up and you see like all these notifications over those like 4 minutes. She's posted on something. You need to go in and you need to send her a friend request. Okay. Once she approves that request, go in there and say, oh, thank you so much for accepting my friend request. I'm super excited to be partying with you. And so in Pearl's party, have you ever been to a virtual party before? I'm just carrying on a conversation. I'm getting to know them. How many kids do you have? Do you work a full-time job? What's your favorite Pampered Chef product? I'm having small talk. We're having conversation. Even though we're not face-to-face, we're still having that conversation. I'm doing that on like Sunday and Monday. By Monday night, Tuesday morning, I'm sending the Rockstar message. And once again, I'm doing that Rockstar message either in a video, in a voice clip, or I'm doing it in a video. I still feel like I'm connecting with that person a lot better if I'm doing a voice clip or a video, because they see me. Okay. I'm telling them they're super rock star. They're amazing. Hey, you're already doing what I do as a consultant. You're partying just like I do. Have you ever thought about being a virtual consultant? Guys, I never say Pampered Chef consultant, because most people, even though virtual is around, most people still think a Pampered Chef consultant, you have to go into a home and you have to cook dinner. You have to do a home show. Well, so many people get scared of home shows that I always say virtual consultant. And they come back and are usually going to say, well, what's a virtual consultant? And then I say, oh, that's where you party on Facebook all the time. You do all your parties on Facebook. There's no home shows. You can do everything on Facebook. And then when I say that, I send the link that you sign up with. Okay. And you're like, why are you saying that? They're not signed up yet. I tell them to look over that link because there's so much information that home office has put in there for them that I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm not going to ramble through it because they can pull up and they can see what there's great information about being a consultant. And I'm going to tell them, I'm going to follow up with you I send that to them and I'll say, hey, I'm going to follow up with you tonight. Or, I'll follow up. If not, if it's late at night, I'll follow up in the morning to see what you look like. I'm also going to ask them at that point, can I put you in the opportunity event? If your team has the opportunity event, use that. Even like right now, we haven't worked all of our opportunity event stuff out with the FTC guidelines, but I've taken a bunch of that stuff out that we couldn't, and I'm still telling them, go in there, because people have went live in there and they can listen to past recordings. Okay. And I'm still following up. Those things are very important. The big thing is you're constantly following up with that person. If they tell you no, ask them to book a party, because you've planted that seed of recruiting. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to be talking to her again as a host. And how many times are you going to ask her? You're going to ask her 5 times. And I'm going to tell you how important it is to ask 5 times. I'm a product of somebody asking 5 times. Okay. When I hosted my party 2.5 years ago, the consultant that asked me, which was Jennifer Henderson, the National Executive Director, she asked me one time. I said, no, don't want to do it. I work a full-time job. I'm not going to do it. She would come back with a smile, like ask me, but it wasn't like annoying. And she would be like, hey, your party's already like at such and such. Are you sure you don't want to do it? And I'm like, nope, not doing it. Told you, my boys are busy. I'm busy. I do not have time to be no Pampered Chef consultant. By the 4th or 5th time, when she told me she did not post in her party, a light bulb went off and was like, you don't post in these parties? I remember clearly sending a message and be like, what? You don't post in this party? She's like, no, girl, I don't post in this party. And when people hear that, that's when the light bulb goes off. So you got to like gradually get it up there, talk to them about not posting a party, how you use post an app. Because at the time, I was a full-time home health nurse. I have 2 boys. When I tell you I either live at the soccer field, I live at the basketball court, or I live somewhere chasing some boys. The joke is now at my house that I'm an Uber mom. I Uber them everywhere. I mean, they get in my car, we Uber into somewhere. So I knew I could never do this. And I'm here, a product of somebody asking 5 times. So if you're not doing it, start asking 5 times, because guys, it works. And so I hope I gave y'all some great tips tonight. And recruiting is something that I'm pretty passionate about. And y'all, thank y'all.
So Amanda, I got a couple questions for you. I've been watching the chat. So a couple questions.
Okay.
First of all, this is a question for me. I just wanted you to share about how many Rockstar reach outs are you making about the business per party? Is that like 1 per party, or like, what would you say?
No. I'm doing anywhere from 5 to 10 Rockstar messages a party. It kind of depends, you know, how many people are in the party and how active. If they're active, I'm sending them a message. I'm not holding out. Even if they don't send me a friend request and they have I have the new Facebook, so I don't know if I'll have the new Facebook, but you can message through the new Facebook and they get it. It don't go into their little folder, regular folder. They automatically get that Facebook message, and I'm starting that conversation through that way too. So I ask anywhere from 5 to 10 people.
Okay, and we did have a question. I saw some conversation about why do you friend people? And so just so you guys know, some people don't have new Facebook. And if you don't have new Facebook, there is no way to send messages to someone if you're not friends with them, because it just goes to their other box. So reaching out to the people who are very active in the party and friending them is a good idea. You can't friend everybody in the party or you're going to have problems on Facebook. But those people who are really, truly engaged in that party, and those are the people you're wanting to reach out to about the business anyway. So don't be afraid to do that for those people that are really active. And then like Amanda said, if you do have new Facebook, then you have that option to be able to reach out as well. Another question was, do you do the same video for all your hosts? And I noticed that video she did call the host name. So that was very personable to that host and was talking about her sales in the party. So you're doing a different video for each host, correct?
No, I do a different video for every host. I do a different video for every guest that I do. I get personal with them. I say, hey, love, man, you are so, I mean, I make it very personal to them. I tell them, like, if their party is at like $300, you know, that they go ahead and get the kit credit. If it's at $269, I'm going to say it's at $269, you know, you're almost there at the $300 to get that $25 kit credit. We can do this. You're doing an awesome job. Keep on doing it. Like, I'm making it very personal, and I am really, truly connecting with that person. I don't want those Rockstar messages just to be forwarded and shared all the time.
Sorry, I can't figure out where the background noise is coming from. I was trying to. Okay, so Amanda, thank you so much. Amanda gave you a real concrete system. You know, she really focuses on recruiting her host, because your host is your best recruit lead. They are so excited about the Pampered Chef products. They've invited all their Facebook friends or invite everybody into their home to hear more about it. So they're your best recruit lead. But then also finding those 5 to 10 people in a party to have that conversation with about. And so your next best leads are the people that are active in your party. So that's really who Amanda is recruiting. And I know that she just walked you through a simple system. So just to recap, that is asking the host before the party if they're interested in doing this, and then continuing those 5 asks during the party. But guys, it's very, it's not pushy at all. It is very just part of your host coaching. If you just work it in there, you're just mentioning it at these key points throughout that time frame. And oh goodness, I have no idea. So anyway, so here are some of the touch points that Amanda was really talking about with her. Okay, sorry, I just lost my train of thought there. But really, the guest in the party, perfect. Okay, is friending them in the party so you can have that conversation with them. Then having that conversation, thanking them for joining the party and starting that conversation. Then sending the rockstar message, focusing on being a virtual consultant, making sure that you're doing that with 4 to 10 people per party. And of course, that depends on the activity level and the guest number in the party. And explaining to them what a virtual consultant is. If they have a question about that, sending them your Be a Consultant link from your website. So it puts them right in there to see all the information about the kits. And then really going back and following up with them after they've had a chance to look at that by the end of the day. The fortunes and the follow-up are really following up with them. And if they're not someone who is jumping on that right away, turning that into a booking and try to get them a show scheduled, because then they have more time to process and experience it from a different aspect than just being the guest. And then they have the opportunity to, again, either start their business before the party starts, because Amanda starts those 5 asks with the host. So it's just a kind of a revolving system. And then she does that same thing with the guest in those parties. So just having a system to make sure you're asking. And I know that Amanda would say this, because we've had lots of conversations about you just have to ask. And we had a brand new director share in our call the other day on Monday night, and she said, I thought I was asking, but I really wasn't asking. And guys, that's what we would tell you. Make sure you're asking, that you're really asking people, your host and guests in your party. Don't just think you're asking. Make sure you're actually asking them if they've ever thought about doing something like this or ever thought about being a virtual consultant. So I think I picked up the questions that were in there. And Amanda and Sabrina, both, thank you guys so much for taking your time to share tonight. So if you are a brand new consultant on this call, or you've been a consultant for a while, we really want to encourage you to just start asking. And there's no way to get good at recruiting and to bring people on your team if you don't just ask. So thank you guys so much for sharing. And you guys go do some of these tips in your parties this week, and we can't wait to hear about it. Thanks for joining us tonight. Bye, guys.
Thank you.